This is not like a girls' night manicure. You will all like jack up your nails if you do this while you're drinking. Hey guys, thanks for watching. So today I'm going to be doing my first ever review video. I hauled this recently. It's the Ciaté feathered manicure, and a bunch of you guys had asked for my thoughts on it, if I would do a review on it. A couple people mentioned how easy it would be to use it, So what I did was filmed me actually applying it, just to show you how easy it is, because I'm not somebody who's like skilled at doing my own nails. I tend to do pretty basic stuff just because I'm not that great at it. I filmed me actually doing the manicure as well as my first impressions of it, and today I'm doing kind of my like 4-day later, because it says long wearing, and typically like nail polish doesn't really last very long on me, so for me to get 4 days out of it, you know, I'm kind of pretty content with it, especially if I did it myself. Basically the way I'm going to start doing review videos, if you guys are interested, is I'm going to show you my first impressions, like me actually applying it the first time, how well I think like initially it goes on, if it's really user friendly, if it takes some finessing, blah 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 blah, and like a couple days later opinion of it. So that's how I'm going to be approaching this. I think it's actually kind of a perfect format to approach a nail polish video. So if you are interested in seeing my thoughts and the application process and my first impression, just keep watching. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and done like all my pre-manicure steps, and I have one of these 4-sided nail like manicure tools. So I've gone ahead and filed, buffed, polished, and shined. And then I've applied my Nail Envy and my Sachet Clear, which is my base coat, just to give myself completely clean, fresh nails. I even have a hashtag feathered manicure at Ciaté Nails. They have a pretty easy guide on the back of it, and then they also have a booklet inside, and it has the directions in like probably 12 languages. And it also gives you a contents list on the side here. 1 Speed Coat Pro, 1 paint pot, 1 pair of scissors, 1 nail file block, and 40 feathers, which is great because it gives you basically 4 manicures. So this is 1 coat. This is with 2 coats. I'm letting it dry as instructed right now. I have to let it dry for 5 minutes before I put my top coat on, and I only have 1 coat so far on my thumb because I did my thumbs last. But my initial review so far of the polish is that it is blech. I mean, especially for what is apparently a higher end polish brand, it's very goopy, it's very streaky. It is by no means a polish I would wear by itself, like without anything on top of it. I mean, especially at the ends. The ends are like exceptionally ragged. The way the polish, you can see it really on my thumb there. The way the polish drags across the nail, it's really blotchy. And I have a base coat and everything on, so I don't have any ridges on my nails, and it's kind of weird to me that something that's so exceptionally high end and that, you know, has this consistency. So far, if I was just buying like a paint pot, I wouldn't buy it. Definitely think you can get a better consistency polish for a lot less money. I mean, they don't look bad there, but I just think for how much these things retail for, it should be a lot easier. Do you see how it does that? It just like streaks across, and you need like a tiny bit more polish to smooth it out. And if I had, look at that, like, do you see the tip there? It's crazy. I don't like this at all. Okay, so now here's my 2 coats. The instructions basically say that once you lay your top coat down, you want to basically immediately put the feather down while the top coat's still wet, and then go from there. So I'm just going to pull some feathers out to place on my nails. That's what it looks like when you have the 4 fingers done. I'm going to obviously do my thumbs last. Just to kind of give you an idea of how you actually do this, you take the top coat, once your nails are dry obviously, generously apply it to a nail, and you lay it right on the nail. And then you roll, they tell you to press, I just kind of roll my finger over it so there's no ridges. And then you kind of go back and kind of press it in. Zoom in, basically it looks like that. So these are what your fingers look like when you're done. That is creepy. Okay, now they want you to trim. I'm using the plastic container that it came with, and I'm just going to lay this below the camera angle so you can, when I cut it, it'll fall into that. But you basically, look how jet, I know, right? they want you to leave some feather hang so you can buff that. So I'm just going to try to grab it right there and just snip. The next step is to take your Speed Pro Coat again, and they want you to seal the feather in, going from the grain of the feather this way as opposed to this way. So you want to go the grain of the feather, so you're going to basically go from tip to cuticle. So now that they're all sanded down, they look like this. I am going to do another layer of top coat just because you have to buff the excess feather down, and I think by doing that you lift the top coat off of these nails, especially off the tips there. So I'm definitely going to be doing another layer of top coat. It's actually not as hard as I thought it was once, and especially when I was halfway through I was a little worried that I wasn't going to like it at all, but I do kind of like it. I think it's a really cool, interesting look on the nail. This is the Manicure 4 days later. My immediate thought on like 4 days later is I think the feathers held up really, really well. I think there's definitely like a day, probably like the first 24 to 36 hours where the top coat, because you do kind of put a lot of top coat on, which I think is great because it does seal the product in, but you do definitely notice like all the ridges, like basically your tip and your cuticle, you'll notice a lot of like polish pulling from there. You'll notice some feathers that like maybe were placed too high. Like for me personally, I guess I placed quite a few nail feathers like higher up than I probably should have. So I noticed that they were breaking off. The one kind of great thing about it was though, they were breaking off at the cuticle. So it wasn't like I was ripping off whole chunks of feather off the nail and ruining the design. So I did appreciate that. I did appreciate that it does dry really flat and it's easy to kind of break off, like literally break off. So that was pretty great because it does save your manicure. The other thing that I thought was really cool was the actual feathers, when you seal it in, it does lay completely flat. There is no ridge on the actual nail itself, which is really great because you get that cool like feather look. I don't know if you can see with my light. I'm so sorry. Again, you guys, I think it's like 1 more month until my setup isn't this anymore, so you just kind of have to bear with me. Again, I apologize. It's just... Anyway, so, but yeah, like the actual design itself is really cool. It definitely does wear nicely. This specific color scheme of feather, I think is probably the most neutral. If I got it again, I probably would try the neon just because it's a little bolder. And in hindsight, you almost don't realize this is feathers because it's so subtle. It's very, like the blue is pretty prominent. And, it just looks like you either had like one of those spongy techniques or it's like a sticker. So for $25, it doesn't look like a feather on the nail. Like it's not bold enough, but that's my fault. That's just my, you know, selection at Sephora. So it's nothing to say about the actual product. Like if you are somebody who wants a more subtle look, this is perfect for you. Regarding the application in hindsight, the only thing I really wish was that it was a little, like that first 24 hours, there is a lot of like adjustment. Like you definitely feel like your cuticles are like really weird feeling. And when you're sanding it down that day, like you basically rip your cuticles. I mean, like, not really, but like you definitely have like sore cuticles the rest of the day. I like slathered mine in creme d'apricot, that Christian Dior cuticle cream. I like literally like rubbed it all over my fingers and all over my nails just to kind of salvage them because they were so dry when I was done like buffing away all the excess feather. The other thing is the tip of the nail. So like the cuticle and the tip of the nail, you totally notice it's not smooth because you've cut the feathers there. So it does take like probably 2.5 days for it just to feel normal. And they are smooth now because my nails have grown a little bit. I mean, not like a lot, but just like a tiny bit. But I think it's just like over time it's kind of worn down. So it's definitely not like something that if I had gone to a salon and gotten my nails done and had this done, if I had walked out of the salon the way I had finished my manicure on Monday, I would not have been happy because it's just like there's like a learning curve to it for your nail that I'm just not keen on, and especially for $25, I just kind of wish it didn't have that kind of like adjustment phase. Do I think you need to run out and buy it? No. I think if you're somebody who's really into nail art and you are able to do it go to Michael's or go somewhere that you can find little feathers from and lay it over your own nail polish, because there's really no difference between that paint pot and any other nail polish. I thought it was really opaque and gloopy. I was not a fan at all of the paint pot. I do like their top coat. I will say they do make a good top coat. I definitely like it better than like the Deborah Lippmann top coat, and I like it a lot better than quite a few top coats I've tried actually. So that part I will say good job, Ciaté. Additionally, I think, you know, for the price of it, I just think for $25 for DIY, like, you know, embellished manicure, you really should make it like ridiculously easy for the person. And you know, it's not. It's I could see how it could be harder, but I just think that there's too many like things that you kind of have to deal with in the process, like the feathers, and like you'll get like little teeny tiny hairs like pulling off. Like I noticed 2 days ago, I had like a couple of hairs lifting, and it's not a huge deal. It doesn't ruin the nail. It's just one of those things that for the price, you don't really want to have to deal with. So ultimately, I wouldn't repurchase it. I probably won't do my whole, like, both hands again. I might use it more for like an accent nail and with like my own polish, like with the polish I prefer, because I really am not a fan of those paint pots. But I think all said and done, you know, I'm glad I tried it, and I'm glad I kind of got my Ciaté fix, because I was gonna buy something at some point anyway, so I might as well do this one. But I do think that if you are somebody who is kind of in the market for something a little different, and you're not the most like manicure capable person, like DIY, I mean, you could try it. I'm not going to tell you no. I'm just going to tell you to kind of keep your expectations in check, because it didn't deliver this at all. Like that girl's nails, never once did I have a nail that looked like that. That's completely airbrushed, which was kind of disappointing. And the other thing is, like, if you see my nail, you can totally see the ridges at the top of the feathers. So that's just kind of a bummer, because while you don't necessarily feel it, you definitely do see it. You don't really want that. Like, you want it to have that cool effect, and like, I don't know, it's just kind of a bummer. If you guys like the video and you want to see more reviews, just give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments anything in particular you want to see a review on. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.